Alright, so let's talk a little bit about this new Dr. Hunt deck. That's what I've called it. Basically, this is the deck that you saw me just get destroyed with a minute ago, because it's a pretty cool deck. So let's just talk about the cards a little bit. It's pretty cool. So we have Candle Shot and Hunter's Mark, actually, which ironically they go really, really well together. Basically, you can just one-shot anything because you can give it 1 health, and then you can just hit it with the Candle Shot. And basically, you don't take any damage. So it can be, Deathwing. It can be a 12/12 Deathwing, and you just kill it for free. It's very, very powerful, very amazing. It's a great combo. You definitely want to have 2 of each of those in your deck. Now, then you have your Play Dead, which is the activator for this one, along with Terrascale Stalker, are the activators for your eggs, or for any death rattles, really, because actually the most powerful thing you want to use it with is your Carnivorous Cubes. So you need to have 2 Carnivorous Cubes, 2 Devilsaur eggs, and you have your Play Deads and your Terrascale Stalker to use with them. Okay. So those are your main kind of death rattle combos. You also have Katharina Winterwisp is probably one of the best legendaries you can have in this deck. I have Kaliseth in here, but he's rotating out, and he's also not really that important. You can definitely play it without him. King Crush also is a legendary in here, which you can put in here as well if you happen to have it. Although if you don't have King Crush, it's really not a problem. You can just put in a charged Devilsaur, which accomplishes pretty much the same thing. The only downside is it's a 7/7 instead of an 8/8, and also you cannot hit face if you have to play it, right? So King Crush, unfortunately, sometimes you draw it into your hand, and you can still go face with King Crush, but you cannot go face with the Devilsaurs if you played it from your hand. So that's why King Crush is a little tiny bit better, but it's not too bad if you don't have him. All right. So we have 1 Ooze in there, which you saw B-Pro using to great effect just now. You can obviously destroy your opponent's weapon, you gain some armor, and it works out pretty well. Okay. That's just a great all-around getting rid of an opposing weapon. Can be great against the Skull of the Minari, against a Warlock, Paladins with their many various weapons, Warriors with their weapons like a Super Collider. It's really great against that. Or against Hunter, getting rid of their annoying candle shots if you need to, or if it's a Hunter that uses the Eagle Horn Bow, you can get rid of that as well. Mind Control Tech is really good against all those aggros. So if you are playing against, some kind of odd paladin or a Zoolock, perhaps, anything that is just trying to throw out a million, flood the board basically, it's pretty good for that. So the Mind Control deck is really nice for just kind of stealing one of their minions. Hopefully you get something good. Again, Spider Bomb is another death rattle that you can use. One cool thing about Spider Bomb that not everyone knows is you can actually it's magnetic, right? So you can combine it with itself. If you happen to draw both of them, you have 2 of them, you can magnetic onto it itself, which is pretty cool because then both death rattles will happen. So if you do put a Spider Bomb onto itself and then you play a Terrascale Stalker, it destroys 2 enemy minions, right? For just 1 Terrascale Stalker. And then when it actually dies, you can kill 2 more minions. So Spider Bomb is really powerful. It's really nice. A great card to have in your deck. And sometimes you just need to play on the board and get rid of something that really, really needs to die. Some really important minion that you just gotta get rid of. Okay. Next we have the Terrascale Stalkers. We already talked about. Flanking Strike is again very, very strong, powerful card. You can use it to just flip the board if the opponent has a 3/3 on the board and you play Flanking Strike. Well, guess what? Their 3/3 is gone, and now you have a 3/3, and that's really powerful. So that's awesome. Houndmaster Shaw is really great. I like him as well. again, it's probably unnecessary to have him. He's, again, you can cut him, and it's not. You can still play the deck fairly well. Um, you, if you do happen to have him though, I'd throw him right in there because you know just being able to rush and control the board is very powerful. If you can manage to cube him, then you can almost be guaranteed to have rush for the entire game, other than like a psychic scream. Um, so Houndmaster Shaw is very powerful if you have him. If you don't have him, there's so many great things at the 4 spot. Um, you could replace it with an animal companion, bear shark. Those are also pretty strong. Kill command, although this deck doesn't have too many beasts, so kill command is probably not as good as with like a spell hunter. Stitch tracker is great. This is a card I would definitely recommend if you are missing some of the things. Like if you're missing Keleseth, I'd put a Stitch tracker in. If you're missing Houndmaster Shaw, you could put a Stitch tracker in. Or if you're missing um, other various things, because basically it can be an extra copy of whatever you're missing. So Stitch Tracker is a great replacement for almost anything that you need in here that you don't have. Like the cubes. Cubes are pretty important. I don't know. You probably shouldn't be playing deathrattle Hunter if you don't have 2 carnivorous cubes. They are very important. You can just get some amazing plays with them. The best thing to cube, of course, is your King Crush, or if you don't have it, the Charged Devil Source, because they can just get so much damage going right to face. Yeah, so if you can cube the biggest thing you possibly can, preferably with charge, then you cube it, and then you play a Terror Scale or play Dead. You should probably try to save them together if you think there's a chance you can get that combo off, because it will just decimate everyone if you can get it. Witchwood Grizzly, again, some much needed taunt here. It's not too great to play from the hand. You'd rather not play this from the hand, because obviously it's going to be losing a lot of health. It is a beast though, so you can get it from Katharina, which again, the Grizzlies combined with King Crush are a great reason for you to play Katharina. Those are pretty much the only beasts I actually have in my deck here, and so you can just, play Katharina and pow, you get a 312 right there with taunt, kind of stopping whatever aggression was there. So it's very powerful. Ziliax is a great craft in general. This is one of the cards that I recently crafted, actually. And as a free-to-play player, I definitely take my time, really think hard about what I want to craft. And Ziliax is definitely worth it. He's a really great legendary. And he's neutral, right? So you can play him in any deck, and if it's generally the class cards are generally more powerful than the neutral cards, just because you can only play them in that one deck. But Ziliax is just so good that he's a neutral card that goes in so many decks, right? So that's a great card. Also, Deathstalker Rexar. If you're ever thinking of playing Hunter at all, any kind of Hunter, then you should get Deathstalker Rexar. Okay. So next we got Mossy Horror. Great card for just kind of, again, those flooding. Um, if you're playing against a zoo or paladin that just floods the board with tiny minions, Mossy Horror is just another great way to stop them right in their tracks. You can also use it to proc your own eggs. You can kind of just get rid of your own eggs if you just need a little bit more power on the board to finish it off. And again, I've already talked about Katharina and King Crush. We might want to talk about how this deck does, the Dr. Hunt, my deathrattle Hunter, how it does against all the different classes. So Mage isn't that popular right now. So you can see like a big mage. If you play against big mage, then I think that the deathrattle Hunter, you want to use him as like more of a tempo aggressive type of way to play it. So you want to get as much stuff on the board and with death rattles as quickly as possible. Get a good combination of eggs and strong, powerful minions on the board. And his flame strikes, you won't, or whatever it is, Dragon's Fury won't have a problem. Okay, because you will be able to still have a board if he, destroys your egg. So mage, I don't think is too much of trouble. I think you'll be fine with that. Um, if you play against shaman, they do flood the board. Shamans can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but if you can draw your Mossy Horror, Deathstalker, Rexar, for kind of doing that 2 damage to everyone, um, and you can try to get things on the board, you should be fine against shaman. Druid again is tricky. They'll be drawing really quickly nowadays. They're playing all those pounces and all those tons of spells with the auctioneers. Usually they're trying to draw through their entire deck. So as a death rattle hunter, if you want to be playing against them, you're going to have to again try to be as quick as possible. And this deck can do that, right? Um, the death rattle hunter can play lots of minions on the board quickly, do a lot of damage quickly. And you're going to need to do that because basically you need to get going before Druid can draw through his whole deck and then Hakar you and just kill you with all the corrupted bloods. So, but again, Druid isn't that popular, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Paladin, oftentimes you are playing against the newer one where you have the Shibala O2K. I played against 2 paladins to actually get to legend. Those were my last 2 decks that I played against, and it wasn't that bad, right? So you just need to be quick and aggressive as much as you can. And again, if it's an odd paladin where they're just flooding the board, try to get Rexar, try to get Mossy Horror, try to get those cards that will help you get rid of lots of small minions. If you're playing against a warlock, it depends. If you've got a Zulok, you want to just make sure you again try to don't let them take over the board. If you're playing against more of a Q block or a control warlock of some kind, then that's a little bit trickier. You're gonna have to just try to don't flood the board too much yourself because Warlock has a lot of good combos, and board clears and stuff like that, and they have a lot of combos themselves, right? So they can have their own cubes. So you just got to watch out for that. It's pretty tricky. But Hunter, Death Rattle Hunter isn't actually the most popular Hunter, so you may want to and a lot of people have said, like I've heard other streamers say that Death Rattle Hunter is not so good against other hunters. I don't think it's too bad. I mean, if I try to play this deck perfectly well, then I think it can do fine against other hunters. But you definitely have to think about, okay, if it's a secret hunter, what order do you trigger those secrets? When do you trigger them? How do you trigger them? If it's Beast Hunter, which seems to be more popular nowadays, you can also use your Candle Shot and your Hunter's Mark to just get rid of some early aggression. Try to make sure that all their beasts don't like just take over. You don't want them to be able to Dire Frenzy something really small. I remember I was playing this game where he got a young Dragonhawk on the board, right? That 1/1 with Wind Fury, and then he Dire Furied it twice. Try not to let that happen. I'm pretty sure I lost that game. So you got to be really careful of that. Warrior, you can actually do okay against. But again, most of the time they're going to be their taunt warrior, their quest warrior with their hero power to give them 4 armor, and so you got to make sure you keep up the pressure. Again, use your eggs and your cubes as much as possible because they have that reckless flurry, they have the brawl, so you don't want to overextend unless you definitely have some eggs or something that's cubed. So try to make sure that you always have something with a death rattle on the board. So if they clear it, you're still okay. But in general, yeah, you want to make sure that you're always putting up the pressure. Try to make sure they don't go crazy and get like 80 health. That would not be good. Rogue. If you're playing against a rogue, then you want to make sure that if it's an odd rogue, just start being very defensive. Try to look for your grizzlies. Try to look for Ziliax if you have him, and just try to get on the board and try to just watch out for your life total. Right, try to make sure you don't get hurt too much. Definitely, you try to clear the board and just make sure you're staying alive, and then they'll eventually run out of cards that they can deal with. What other rogues might you see? If you see the one that I like to play sometimes, if it's a Miracle Rogue or if it's the Cobalt Illusionist Rogue, you just have to be quick and try to get them before they get their combo off. Okay, Priest. Priest is a tricky matchup, definitely, because you want to make sure you. I remember I played this Priest deck where he just played 5 Psychic Screams, and Psychic Screams are super annoying for your board because your death rattles don't do any good, right? So your death rattles don't trigger when he Psychic Screams them. So yeah, watch out for those Psychic Screams. If he's playing Shadow Visions, you gotta expect those Psychic Screams, and just don't overextend. Um, you know, if you can get a good combo where you can just do lots of charging damage to him, do it. But otherwise, be careful. Don't put too many things on the board. Don't rely on your cubes to just cube something and then I'll get it later. No, because he'll probably Psychic Scream it and you'll be in trouble. So anyways, that's that. That's my Death Rattle Hunter, guys, and we're gonna stop there for now because I want to make sure to put this video up on YouTube. So yeah, all right. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later.